bits. Let's turn it on. And I need lots and lots and lots of water. Yeah, my whole side of my nose was also plugged, and I hit it with the nasal spray. The nasal spray, luckily, actually does work for me. The Nintendo Direct was today. I heard that they named the next Mario Brothers movie Super Mario Galaxy, which I don't know why. I thought that was super neat and nerdy, and that that'll be fun. Okay, maybe that's what it was, Kinemura, yeah. Thanks for the Gigantifies machine. Fake Carino, heck yeah, baby. Anyway, so Benny, if you need some nasal spray, it's in the back. Not like behind me, like in the back drawer in the other room. Iron Bar gifted a sub to Telenovela. There you go. See? Yeah, I store my nasal spray in my ass. Wait. Hi, YouTube. Hopefully that's broken today. It's not. Hey, YouTube. How are you? That's not where I store my nasal spray. Jesus Christ. JK, these are jokes. To be fair, recently YouTube changed their parameters for what will demonetize you at the beginning of stream. So it's no big deal. Okay. Big news, chat. I mean, you all know that you follow in Discord, but Asher is home. He's still home. No setbacks, obviously. Like, heck yeah, baby. I did summon aliens. The sound just didn't work. I swear I summoned them, though. Okay, YouTube did not save any of my settings this time. Probably as a recompense for being gross. I've got a butt plug in right now. I told you that in private. That was a secret. Izzy says you would store it there, but you can't. And we all know why. I did not see the Hades 2 news. What was it? Hit me. Pokemon next month. Nothing interesting for me on Switch 2 until next year. Okay. So no Mario game. I take it, Superwoman. Still no Mario game. Thank you for the bits, Izzy. And for reminding everyone. Wait, Dizzy, you're saying I need to find a way to have a butt plug that contains nasal spray? I feel like that's a product Benny would at least be marginally interested in researching. Two birds and all that. Holy YouTube stream. Hold on. Hold on. I'm not ready. That's a lot of awesome things happening in the YouTube. It's coming up in 2 weeks? No, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's... No. No. That's not good for my plans. So it's gonna be a negative for me. Okay, I have everything set up. If you guys want to say hi on YouTube, I'll drop the link one more time. If you want to drop a lurk or a like over there, that'd be super awesome. We have 2 people who have renewed their paid membership on YouTube. That would be Benny and Dizzy. Those beautiful beings. 15 months for Dizzy, our longest paid member on YouTube. And Benny with 14 months at tier 2. You're beautiful. Thank you both very, very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, they're launching Hades 2. That means they're launching Hades 2 at the same time as Final Fantasy's Tactics. That's why I said that's weird. However, here's the thing. Hades 2 is going to be flooded with content. So this is my plan. I'm gonna make the plan right now, and you guys can tell me what you think. I say we still play Final Fantasy Tactics, right? And then when I'm done with Tactics, play Hades 2. That way, people in the community who don't want spoilers should hopefully already be past that point. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then you guys all have time to play Hades 2 and enjoy it, get all the content. Yeah. Wait, I thought you said 2 weeks. That would be like September 28th-ish, right? Oh, so you're saying I still think this is the plan. Because when I start playing Hades 2, I'm not going to stop. So I still think this is the plan. Like, I'm certainly not going to beat it in 5 days with the amount of content they have in it. There's, like, no way. Yeah, well, I like the idea of letting the community play Hades 2 for a couple of reasons. The main one being such a high percentage of people will play it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of you are going to play it. Good morning, Rizzy. How we feeling, baby? I really need to drink this tea. Oh, man, I have so many stories to tell you. Let's start with Asher is home and healthy. That's a good one. If you're wondering why I canceled 2 streams in a row, it's because bringing a new baby home is a lot. And I wanted Lady Mac to be able to handle him at night when I would normally stream without the boys coming in the room in the middle of the night. So those 2 nights off were so I could sleep with our boys and they wouldn't leave the room. If our boys wake up and I'm there, they never leave. If I'm not there, they go and climb into mommy's bed in the middle of the night. So this way, we can kind of divide and conquer. And that's what we did. And then we'll get to do it Saturday and Sunday as well. So of his first 5 nights home, 4 of them, I'll be up there. And hopefully I'm only going to stream long enough tonight that they don't go into mommy's room. We'll see. That's right, Dizzy. That's also true. So I think we'll give Hades a couple of weeks while we play Final Fantasy Tactics. I'll let everybody else love it, and then I'll play it afterwards. Its popularity on Twitch won't fade for a long time, so it's going to be okay. If Lady Mac locks the door, it just means they're both coming down to the stream. Oh, nice, Izzy. Very nice. You know, you saying Legends remind me that I got an email from the developers of... Oh my god, what's the Legend game that's like Age of Wonders? Endless Legend, right? They emailed me about playing early access to their new game. Endless Legend 2, I'm pretty sure. Like, paying me to play it too. So I gotta make sure I respond to them. I still haven't responded to them. But that's right up our alley. That'd be a cool one. Yeah. Especially since that's probably worth playing without the sponsorship, yeah. That's enough time for strangers to try to backseat you, though. I'm okay with that. I feel like our sniping is really good amongst the mods. We'll be fine. Also, then it gives me time, Angela, or it gives me opportunity to, you know, beat their ass with my voice. The dev team contacted you for that directly. I don't think so. I don't think it was them. I have been contacted directly by that dev team before. I actually was on a conference call with them once, with their dev team. Fun little factoid. And I did a sponsorship for them shortly after that. And I met with them in person at TwitchCon. But no, I don't think it was directly from them. When I went to check my business email, Destinovas, I had 400 unread emails. in my business email. So yeah, I was a little behind. I wish it was Mr. Popular. But it's not that they're not really spam. It's really that I'm on so many mailing lists for indie games that I get so many emails about indie games. I didn't put myself on those lists. I've just meandered onto them by one way or another. You know what I mean? I haven't fed the mods in a while. It's true. They're hungry. Yeah. Are you asking that, Dustanovas, because Audrey's going to work on it? If that's secret, tell me to shut the fuck up. But most of the emails I get aren't requests for sponsorship. They're just like, hey, here's my indie game. Would you play it? That's what most of the emails are. And there's too many for me to play them all, obviously. We play some of them. But, yeah. Hi, Gorilla. How are you? It's good to see you. This is gonna sound weird to say, chat, but we're 2 days in to Asher being home, and it's been mundane and boring. And to me, and I'm sure to all of you, that's such good news. It's just been like having a normal little baby at home. No problems, no hiccups, nothing weird. Everything's been smooth sailing. Lady Mac is sleeping less, and that's the nature of the beast with our two schedules, right? Like, it's just going to be that way for now. But Gorilla's got sniped, but he said, I hope you've been well. See him and Izzy. He's feeding Izzy free bands. Life is good, and I'm high on it. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. That's what I like to see. And also, he's almost 6 pounds. So we went to the hospital that day, and I was kind of expecting them to say we couldn't take Asher home. And they're like, nope, you're good to go. He passed every test with flying colors. So he had no events for 5 days. He sat in his car seat for 90 minutes and just slept in it. No big deal. They do a car seat test to make sure he's okay. Lady Mac watched the Don't Shake the Baby video. So we remember not to shake the baby. Let's get your notepad out, Chad. Don't shake the baby. You asked me to do that, you handsome guy, you. That was the resub. That was the band message. It's a good one. There you go, machine. There you go. So yeah, it's been fine. My niece is here, which I feel like is giving us a false sense of the situation. But since she's here, I put a rocking chair in the second daycare room, and we're not letting the daycare kids in there right now. So we're kind of separating the two. And my niece has been sitting in the daycare with the daycare kids while my wife sits just outside the gate with the baby. So the baby is out of danger of the other daycare kids. And I put a bassinet in that room too. So there's like a little room just for Asher while the daycare is open, where he has a bassinet and there's a rocking chair to feed him and stuff. And so yeah, it's been pretty good. I feel like me and Lady Mac are experts at this now. We have so many solutions to these problems now. This is where we are right now, chat. I said, okay, which bassinet do you want in this room? Not do you want one? Which of these would you like me to put in there? So yeah. Hi, Anubi. It's good to see you. And baby is not a shake weight. So Rizzy is giving out mead. Did I read that right? Yeah? I hope you guys who are playing Borderlands 4, I hope it's freaking awesome, by the way. I know we talked a lot about it last week and early this week. I hope it's really good. Yeah. Choose your favorite. Yeah. The very fancy bassinet goes by our bed. And that thing is so offensively fancy. And the two cheaper ones that we bought one goes downstairs in that room I told you about. The other one goes in Jonah's and Giddy's room. So that at night when we put Jonah and Giddy to bed, we can bring Asher in there and put him in that bassinet. We won't use that one very often because that one requires us to be supervising that bedroom. But we need to be able to set the baby down. Remember, he sleeps, if you don't know how newborn infants are, he sleeps like 20 hours a day. So he sleeps all the time. So we just need safe spaces that are quiet to let him sleep in, basically. I sleep in the bassinet of pain, not a machine. That'd be my bassinet of choice. Is he as stinky as the nurses said? Hard to say. Doesn't seem so bad, but here's the thing. Our house is always stinky when the daycare's open. Turns out, 2-year-olds are fucking gross. So, like, today alone, we had to send 2 parents home with a bag of soiled clothes. Yeah. One of them peed while sitting on the chair in our living room and then got up and went and sat on the couch with his wet pee pants. And the last thing his mom said when she left for the day, he hasn't had an accident in a while. He's going to be good. False. False. And then one of the moms said her son had, this is going to be gross, diarrhea a couple days ago. And she goes, oh, but he didn't have any yesterday. Yeah. You can piece together the rest of that story. Turns out he did still have it. Yeah. Good times. Lady Mac she's so done right now, Chuck. She's so funny. Usually she cleans the soiled clothes for the parents and not like washes them, but just like rinses them out real good so they're not covered in poop or pee. Today she goes, I threw his poopy pants in a bag. I'm not cleaning them this time. She's like, she shouldn't have brought him with diarrhea. She can clean him when she gets home. So she put the bag on the porch all day until the mom got here and said there's a bag of poopy pants on the porch. Yeah. That's when you know mama's done. Mama is done with your shit, literally. Yeah. Yeah. Good times. Oh, yeah, Belf. I think I was really sleepy when she told me, but I think Lady Mac said the mom picked up the bag and threw it right in the trash. She's like, no, I can't be bothered either. Yeah. Especially with a newborn at home. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, hi, Shadow. You guys know that the first 2 weeks of him being home, he absolutely positively has to stay away from germs, right? He has to be covered in a corner. He needs to be like siloed from the disgusting, dirty, nasty kids in our daycare. He can't get sick right now. It's very important that he doesn't get sick. He's a fragile little dude, you know what I mean? And I'm sick, so that's fucking great. That's been awesome. And the boys just finished being sick, so our house is just a petri dish of germs. So that's not the reason we segregated him. That's more for safety and for like sound differences of the 2 rooms and stuff like that. But another benefit to him being away from the daycare and the boys. Asher is home, yeah. He's been home for 3 days. I do have an air purifier. It's not running next to the bassinet, but that's not a bad idea. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'll have to pull it out of the garage because it's currently in there. Because remember we stored like our whole house in the garage? I'll have to go out there and get it. Thank you, Snow Queen. Thank you. How are you? It's good to see you. Yeah. It's okay. Not everyone looks at the title, Shadow. What do you... Of the people in here right now, you're probably like the second person to see the title. Yeah. Good times. So yeah, it's been awesome, chat. Asher said goodbye to all the nurses. We brought them home, and now life is easier. And I knew it was gonna be. But we don't have to spend 3 hours a day in the hospital anymore. Or have to have constant worry and anxiety that something bad's gonna happen at the hospital. We're good. We're there now, chat life. We're a family, right? This is what we've been waiting for. So yeah, that's awesome. That's the story with the leash juice, which I feel like is really good news, right? That there's nothing to report. Everything's fine. Right? Like everything's smooth sailing. We couldn't have asked for anything better. He already had his first doctor's appointment, and she also thinks he looks great, had nothing, no worries, no concerns. And she said, normally we would see you in a month, but since he's a preemie, I want you to come back in 2 weeks just for a quick check-in and weigh him again to make sure he's gaining weight properly while he's finally home. And we really like his pediatrician. We've used him for the other two boys too. So, yeah. Remember the same pediatrician who, when I told her about Jonah's cerebral palsy, she had a really positive reaction and said she learned so much and she was happy that I told her and stuff like that. So, all good things. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you. Now. Oh my God. Chat. Where do I fucking begin with this house buying shit? It's just a lot, man. It's a lot. We're in contract to buy the house still, so it hasn't fallen apart completely. We're in contract to buy both houses still. Let's start with the new house first. The new house, we got the mortgage documents. Very exciting, right? And the mortgage documents say you'll need $330,000 cash to close. We won't have that much. We will have half of that. And I was like, why does it say that? And then my banker goes, I don't know. That's definitely not the number that should be there. I was like, yeah, because if it's that much, we're not buying it. And so that was fun to get. I was like, oh, maybe we're not buying this house. I've redone the math 10 times, though. The document's just wrong. You know what I mean? When we move, yes, we won't change pediatricians. It's going to be a 30-minute drive, and we still won't change. Yeah, some sort of error in data entry, he said. He said he thinks that's what's the problem. He's brokering the deal with another bank, so he has to talk to them and get a response from them and then relay it to me. I actually kind of like this in this scenario because he has to deal with all their bullshit and then just come back to me once he has answers. So it's kind of nice having a broker in this scenario. So that's good. We'll take it, right? And it turns out I don't pay him. They do. So he doesn't even get paid at closing, the broker. I pay him $0 to do this. He gets a fee from the bank he brokers the mortgage through as like a commission sort of thing from that company for giving them a mortgage, you know, for a lot of money. They also increased our approval by 7,000. So I think the numbers are right. Like, he's not worried that we're not going to get the loan. I think they increased it a little bit to make sure we had enough space, because remember, we had to drop the price a little bit. So yeah. Yeah, I love that, Destinovas. That's awesome. That's awesome. If they can find a way to get paid from the corporate conglomerate, do that. You know what I mean? So that's all I have for the new house. Everything else is fine for the new house. We've been signing to all kinds of documents and getting ready to do our closing stuff. And yeah, we're getting there on that one. Now for our house, chat. Where did I last leave you? I last left you at they requested us to remedy, or you didn't know that they did that yet? I don't think you knew that yet, right? I haven't told you what they asked us to fix yet, I don't think. So we got their inspection report. So this would have been the day I canceled stream, the first day. The inspection has 65 reported items on it. And they're very stupid. And it's one of the worst inspection reports I've ever seen. I'll give you an example. One of the things he wrote on the report was, when you open the garage door, the difference in height should be no more than 6 inches per code, and it's 8. Okay. Don't buy the house. It's too dangerous. The south gutter requires cleaning. Not all of them, just the south one. Luckily for us, the buyers also thought the report was full of shit, because they didn't respond to pretty much anything on that list. They only asked us for 2 things. My guess is he was thorough because there wasn't much to find, and he needs to put a report that looks like he did his job, Destinovas, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to turn in a report and say, here's the 6 things I found, right? He wants to be like, oh my God, look at all this stuff I found. I'm a genius. Yeah, he did do the thing, though. Red things, yellow things, green things. Green things you don't really need to worry about. Yellow things are, you probably want to get this looked at some point, but it's not high priority. Red things, these are red flags for your purchase. There were 4 red things. 2 of them were the same thing. That he wrote twice in 2 different areas. Once under roof, once under garage. So here's the 2 things they asked us to fix. They asked us to fix the heating and cooling, which is an expensive ask, depending on what the fuck the problem is. Here's what he said. He said, I recorded a temperature difference between the air intake and the thermostat of 15 degrees. No, you didn't. Like, no, the fuck you didn't. I have tried to replicate that many times. It's about a 4-degree difference between the 2. So I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. So we have an HVAC technician coming out Monday, though. We're going to do it. I love my furnace guy. I think I've told you guys that before. He's going to come out and, no, they want a document showing that the system is in good condition. That's what they requested. So they request a remedy is they want it assessed by an HVAC tech that gives us a good bill of health order that says the machine's not going to die tomorrow. Actually, Snow Queen, my garage door was open the entire inspection. So I'm sure that lets some heat in. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, Angela. I see your message, Angela, and I can read it, but I'm not allowing the C word in my chat. That's how I got third, baby, okay? Yeah, good times. So that's not so bad. I just had the air conditioner looked at on July 8th. So 2 months ago, I had it looked at already. So I know it's in good working condition. Wait, why do I not have that blocked, Gorilla? Okay, I need to add that to the list. Time to add a new banned word. It did, Izzy. Heck yeah. Do you really not, Disney? Yeah. There you go, Angela. There you go. Honestly, this inspector has caused me so many fucking headaches because of the second thing they asked for. I'm saying the easy one first. To me, this is easy. The HVAC tech, I like the guy. I called them on the phone and I said, hey, it's me. I'm calling from this address. You might remember talking to me because I'm the one who your agent guessed my age 10 years too high. Please don't send that agent to the house. And he started cracking up. He goes, yeah, I do remember that. Okay, fuck you. So, like, I feel like I have a really good relationship with the furnace company now. They've been, remember I told you how awesome they were. They were super awesome both times they've been here. Remember, this is the same agent, the same furnace company who came out and said, listen, if you go buy this part at Home Depot, you'll save yourself like $200. If you have me put it in, I'm going to charge you 200 bucks. And he was right. And it worked. And everything works fine. And I did it myself in 30 seconds it took me to put it in. So super easy. So they're coming on Monday to give me a good bill of health for my unit, to make sure the AC is in good working order, right? The second thing they asked for was, there is a depression in my roof. And the absolute fuckery that this has caused me is asinine. Because the owners took it as the structural integrity of the house is at risk. Which it's not. No, remember, my roof doesn't have 6 roofs. Just the back panel of the roof has that. The rest of the house only has 1 layer. So it's not the whole roof. It's just the previous owner was trying to fix a leak and they just kept re-roofing the same section over and over and over again, trying to make the leak go away. So yeah. There is a depression in my roof. And so here's what I want to just tell the whole story so that I could tell you where we are now. I responded the same day and I said, we had 4 closed vents and I cannot recreate the temper differential. However, we will clean out both air intakes. This was my response to their remedy. We will clean out the air intakes. And that was it. That's what I offered. And yeah, Snow Queen, thank you for gifting a sub. I appreciate that. To Shadow, thank you. It's very nice of you. The second one I sent to them, I said, I will sister the joists underneath the depression, and then I will reinforce the support beams underneath it as well to give it more rigidity and structure long term. And then, because I'm me, chat, that 65-page report I found 7 legitimate items of the 65. And I fixed all of them that day. All of them. And I'm not even kidding. Like he said, the stair to my garage is rotting, which it is. So I fixed it and replaced it. He said the GFCI in the kitchen doesn't work. So I took it out and put a new one in. He said there's no vents in the living room. And I replied, yes, there is. They're behind the couch. The fuck you talking about? Why didn't you just look behind the couch? Like the living room was just built in the house with no vents in it or heating or cooling. So stupid. And so basically, in my response, I said, also, these 7 items in the report have all been remedied already. And I put at the bottom, we really want you to love the house. So we wanted to go the extra mile and take care as much as we can before you move in. And they turned us down. And they sent the same exact request for remedy back to us. We haven't gotten it yet. They're going to send the same one back. We found out today that the only reason we haven't gotten it back is their agent is at a funeral for their sister, which fucking sucks. Because we were like sending her messages and we didn't know. And now I feel like an a-hole that we were like pestering her and she's like at a funeral. Anyways, we didn't know, but still it makes you feel bad when you realize why she wasn't responding, right? But that's why we haven't received it. But she told my agent they're going to send the same remedy back. However, she said, I have attached an email from the buyers that they want the sellers to read. Do you want me to read it to you? I can just read you the email, chat. No, it's not a bad email. It's not bad. I thought it was actually pretty nice. Truth be told. But where is it? Uh-oh. I'll have to remember where I put it, though. Oh, crap. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. All right. So this is what they wrote back. They said, "Good morning. After reviewing the seller's response to Remedy, the buyers want to thank the seller for the offer, for going above and beyond, and for their kind words." Wow. They then proceed to turn us down, but... however, we are not comfortable having the issues addressed by the seller. So they didn't want me to DIY the solution. While we're incredibly impressed with the seller's skill level and experience, because obviously they've seen the house, they want to have a third-party company involved. It gives them protection and recourse after closing should there be any further issues with the work. The peace of mind is a top priority. We hope you understand. Therefore, we will be resubmitting the same request to Remedy. They added the clarification that they're happy to cover the cost of any AC repairs up to $3,000 if needed. So that was very nice. They simply want verification that the unit is not going to die 2 weeks after they move in. Which, $3,000 damn near replaces that AC unit. They could literally buy a new one for probably $500 more, like $3,500. Not even kidding. It's like that close to just being enough for a new one. But that was their response. So not bad, right? It's fine. But they're still requesting this really complicated problem. So now I'm going to explain to you why it's complicated. Fixing a sagging roof is a son of a bitch. And my roof does have a sag. It's very minor. And you have to really fucking be looking for it to see it. Like really, really, really hard to see it. No, their response, it didn't bother me, Rizzy, in the perspective of they don't want me to DIY it. The only reason the response bothers me is because I don't think they understand the scale of which it takes to fix a depression in your roof. You don't just get a jack and jack up your roof and then it's fixed and you put a board in there and you're good to go. You have to rip it apart and rebuild it in order for there to not be a depression there. And if you try to like jack up the roof right there, it'll lift everything because it's bowed. You know what I mean? Oh, it's coming, Dizzy. I was a busy boy today. Oh, you wait. Oh, you wait. The telenovela is long. So their request specifically says they want a structural engineer to look at it and say that it's in good order. Okay? They also said they want the engineer to do the repairs, and I found out today after talking to 2 different engineers that they don't do that. Apparently, the way engineers work is they work on bigger projects, and they are more like supervisors. So usually they say, this is the problem, this is how to fix it, now go hire a contractor to fix it. They don't come into your house as the engineer and start fixing your house. And both of them said that. 2 different engineers I talked to today. Yeah, engineers design, tradies fix, exactly. Yeah. So their request is actually technically impossible the way they worded it, but I'll explain all that to them once we get to the finish line. So let's start with how today went. Today I was like, okay, let's figure this shit out, right? There is a depression in the roof. Since they sent the same thing twice, I don't think we're going to talk them out of it, right? I don't think I'm going to be able to send another response that says, come on, bro, it's not that big of a deal. Which it's not. There's no water intrusion, and I'm pretty sure it's been like that for decades. The new roof went on top of that depression when it was replaced 12 years ago. So when they replaced the roof 12 years ago, they replaced it right over the depression. So obviously the roofers back then didn't think it was a big deal either. But I'm going to get to that because I found the problem and I know why it's depressed. So this morning I called an engineer. First, I called 2 inspection companies to see if they employ an engineer. And neither of them did, but one of them gave me a referral. And I was super, super happy about that. Remind me to tell you guys about my washing machine. Don't let me forget that, because that's a fucking infuriating story. I'm going to tell you that story after this. You guys want to hate that inspector even more? He broke the washing machine while he was here, and I'll tell you how I fixed it. But yeah. Shut up, Iron Bar. I gotta spend more time there, Destinova. Yeah, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Rizzy too. So anyway, first engineer is on the phone. I love this guy. Super awesome dude. Talks to me for 20 minutes about the problem. And this is what, after telling him everything that's there, he said, I want you to take a bunch of pictures. He said, I want you to take so many pictures that I get annoyed with you. And I said, okay. He talks to me for 20 minutes and he says, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a waste of your time to have me out there. And I'm happy to take your $500, but I don't think you should give it to me. That was his response. And he said, this is what I think you should do. I think you should call a roofer and have a roofer come look at the deck and tell you if the deck needs replaced. And if the roofer doesn't think you should replace anything, then you should just call it good to go. Okay? So I thought that was an awesome response, right? He was real honest, open, and he was such an awesome guy. Like, he explained so much stuff to me that was really, really helpful. So then I call the roofer immediately. And I got an awesome roofer on the phone. So good that I'm going to let him roof the new house. I really like this guy a lot, too. I don't think so, Destinovas. No, I don't. And you'll see when we get to the end of the story, much better solution. So I get on the phone with the roofer, and this dude is also awesome. I had a good day with finding great people. I feel very lucky and fortunate with the people I found today. And he's the same way. He's like, send me pictures and let me look at it. And then he said, you know, decking that's 50 years old can start to sag, but I won't know until I see the pictures. And then he saw the pictures and he said, it's not your decking. It's definitely the structure. You need an engineer to look at it. Fuck! Basically, he knew the whole story and said, you're going to have to go the engineer route. But he was honest. I feel like a roofing company could easily go into that situation and go, oh yeah, you definitely need to replace the decking and replace your roof, right? Easily. They could easily say that and try to just like take advantage of the situation. So the fact that he was like, nah, you shouldn't have us do anything. You shouldn't even have me out there. But then he said, on Monday, I'm free at 10 a.m. If you want me to swing by and take a peek at it, I'll do that. Awesome, right? But here's what happened. When I called that first engineer, I called 2 engineers before him and left one of them a voicemail. So after calling the roofer, literally 5 minutes later, the second engineer called me on the phone. And he's like swearing and stuff. I was swearing too, but he's like, at one point he goes, my dad works all the fucking time. I was like, oh, that sucks, I guess. But he's like, I just graduated engineering school and I work for my dad's company. And I told him the situation and what we were doing. And he said, here's what we're going to do. Right now, I only schedule for my dad. I want you to text my dad all the pictures and explain the situation to him. And he said, but he's traveling to his vacation, so I wouldn't expect an immediate response. And then he said, but my dad works all the fucking time, so we'll see. So I send them all to this engineer now, right? And this dude responds and says, he's so awesome. He's like, at a rest stop? And he responds and sends me a bunch of texts about the roof. He goes, you definitely have a structural issue. He said, it's probably this beam coming down on your house. It's either broken or something's wrong with it. So you got to look at that beam and tell me what it looks like. So here's the fun part, Chad. Are you ready? I go into the attic of the garage and there's a bunch of insulation covering the bottom of that joist. More than the rest of the garage. I never thought anything of it this whole time. Why is there so much insulation there? I remove it and the board is rotted. You gotta be fucking kidding me. So that's why there's a depression in the roof there. The rot is probably 20 years old. It's not new, and it's not wet, and it's not still leaking. Here's what happened. All of my ceiling in there is regular old 1970s plywood. That section is brand new USB. No, it's not being held up by insulation. It's being held up by the 4 joists that are connected next to that beam. The way the garage is designed, that beam is to make the structure square and rigid, not to hold the load. The load of the roof is held by the cross joists. This beam is to make sure the building doesn't move side to side. Still important, obviously. So basically, it's a 2x8 that comes down from the corner, comes all the way down, and at the bottom, the last 36 inches, the top 2 inches of it are gone. Like completely rotted away. But the bottom 6 inches are still there. You can see the new decking where they did it. And now that the insulation is gone, you can see everything. So my guess is the previous owner that sold us the house put a bunch of insulation there, hoping we wouldn't see it, and we didn't. This story has a happy ending, chat, hopefully. Don't be too worried. So then he gives me some ideas, and I give him some suggestions of what I was thinking. I told the first engineer I was thinking of sistering the joist, and then I told this engineer I was thinking of sistering the joist. And the second engineer said, you can do that, but I also think you're going to need to support the structure from underneath as a safety precaution. What that means is, you ever seen those metal posts, chat? Like in a basement that hold up the structure? He means putting something like that in to support the structure from underneath, just in case it's compromised in any way. I'm not going to do that yet. Also, it's going to be so funny that this story ends with me DIYing this. But I'll explain why. So he then says, I'm about to go out with my family. I'll sketch you a picture in the morning of what I think you should do, and I'll text it to you. This is chat. He doesn't know me, and it's all free. He hasn't charged me anything or asked me for anything. Both engineers were such awesome guys. Like, holy cow, right? He's a nerd. He is, right? That's totally what it is, right? He's like, I want to fucking solve this problem. Also, I thought, as soon as he said it, I kind of thought, he's rich. He doesn't need the money. He's a fucking engineer who's been an engineer for 35 years. He's got lots of money. Yeah. But yeah, so tomorrow on his vacation, he's going to sketch me a picture and send it to me of what he thinks I should do. Okay. So then here's what happened, chat. At this point, I'm excessively frustrated. I'm literally sitting on the top of a ladder with my head sticking through a hole in the ceiling of my garage, with my hands on my face, just like staring at this problem for probably 20 minutes. Just like so frustrated. Like, are we going to lose the sale? Should I just tell them we deny their request to remedy, buy it or don't? Because we could say that. We could just say, fuck off. Either buy it or don't. We're not fixing it. But they're first-time home buyers. They're nervous. I feel like if we say we're not fixing it, they're going to say we back out. And then we lose the other house, right? But I was sitting there, and then I was like, I should just fix it myself. Like, I should just fucking fix it. Like, I know how. I know what to do. I know how to remedy this situation. Like, I know you need to sister the boards. If you don't know what sistering is, chat, you guys want to do Microsoft Paint stream, chat? So I can explain it. It's been a while, chat. Okay. What is sistering? I need a trapezoid. Can you make a trapezoid? Where's the trapezoid button? Maybe you can't? All right, anyway. Why can I not see it? Oh, because the brush is the wrong color. Okay. Hi, Arden. How are you? Okay, chat. This is my roofing structure, right? Don't judge my drawing. It is what it is. Okay. This is where my problem is, right here. Okay. But the problem is that's the diag. So these keep going up to the top of the roof. This beam comes down right here. And that's the one that contains my problem. And it's right here. This one right here. There's supposed to be a roof deck sitting on top of this. You got to picture this like this, chat. It's like this, okay? Like this is angled. I just can't draw that well. It's good to see you, Arden. Yeah. So this beam needs fixed. When you sister it, here's what you do, chat. How do you open a new? Can you open a new one? I think that just deleted the old one, but that's okay. Sistering is when you do this, okay? So you have a beam of wood. You have a beam of wood, right? Okay? It's when you take another beam like this and another beam like this, and you screw them into that beam of wood, reinforcing its structure. You don't need to do one on each side. Just one side is enough. And essentially, you tie that to the structure that already exists for the support. You basically are putting a sister board right next to the board that connects to the two trusses on the outside. So where the wood already exists, you're adding a brand new piece of wood connected to it and then hitting the same support structures. Did you? I remember, yeah, a lot of people doing it when they're building pressure points and weight points on structures, Iron Bar, just for future reinforcement of the structure to make it very strong and rigid. Sometimes just to also make it not squeak and shake over time. So that's all it is. And that's what I thought we should do. And both engineers agreed with me. That's also what I fucking offered to do in the beginning. But I hadn't found the rotted board at that point. I just knew that that was how you support a roof under a sag, is by sistering the boards to make sure it never sags further. Anyways, so I'm sitting in the attic, and I needed to tell you that part for a reason. It'll make sense in a second. And I don't know what to do, chat. And I'm just like, I'm going to fucking fix it myself. I don't care that they don't want me to. It's going to be $5,000 to $10,000 for a firm to fix it for me. I can fix it for under $100. I'm not even kidding. Like, I know exactly how to do it. I know exactly how it works. If you have another company do it, it's going to be excessively expensive. They're going to remove the whole ceiling. They're going to take the roof off, the decking off, everything off. You don't need to do all that to fix this problem. You just need to reinforce the support boards because the house is not having a problem with structure right now. You're basically just trying to solve a future problem from happening. The sag is minor. You can barely see it. You have to really be looking for it. It's not, if it was a huge sag, we'd have water in the garage. It'd be leaking, right? Also, by the way, this problem could have been fixed by whoever roofed the roof last time. They could have said, oh, hey, that board looks like shit. We should sister it while we're fixing the fucking roof. But they didn't. Because they had the whole structure open and they could obviously see that it was like that. And instead, they just put new OSB decking over it and ignored it, thus causing the sagging. However, chat, I had an epiphany. I was like, I wonder if our inspection 10 years ago caught the sag. And it did. So in our report, our inspector said minor issue, small sag above garage. The new inspector from 4 days ago said major catastrophic issue, structural integrity compromised, sag over the garage. So this is the problem with inspectors. It's opinion-based industry, right? So the first inspector is like, small sag, not big deal. The other one's like, oh my God, your house is going to fall apart and fall down. So I think he scared them. You know what I mean? He also put, it looks like they hung shelves in the garage from the roof and the excessive weight is pulling on the structure. Do you know what's in that hanging shelf, chat? Christmas decorations. Do you know how heavy Christmas decorations are? Not very fucking heavy. Also, the sag isn't where the shelf is. It's nowhere near it. The shelf is on one side of the garage and the sag is on the other side. Anyways. When I saw that, I said, okay, so the sag predates us moving in. So now we can tell the owners, like, it's been there since before we moved in, meaning that it's not getting worse, or it's not progressive, right? It's just the way that it looks, and probably has looked that way for a long, long time. And like I said, when I went up there, if it was still leaking water, I would have had water in the garage by now. But more importantly, it would be moldy and mildew and smell bad up there, right? I would see water up there and water damage all over the boards and stuff. The brand new OSB, which is just wood, looks brand new still, meaning there's never been water intrusion since they re-roofed it, which was probably why they did not feel the need to do a huge remedy back then. You don't make all of your Christmas decor out of cast iron? Yeah, I only use cast iron ornaments. Yeah. So I was sitting there, I'm looking at the report, I'm talking to Lady Mac, and then I go back outside, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking fix it myself. I don't care. If they don't buy it, they don't buy it. I'm just gonna fix it myself. We can't afford to spend $5,000 to $10,000 on a huge renovation of our garage when that costs us the other house. What's the point? At that point, both deals fall apart and we're done, right? That path is we're done, right? But I'm sitting in my I start the car in the driveway, and I'm still sitting there like in this deep. I did a lot of thinking today, chat, trying to solve this fucking problem. And I said, let me call that first engineer. He shot the shit with me for 20 minutes. He's a super cool guy. And so I called him on the phone, and I said, hey, it's me again. Remember we talked earlier? And it was like, I said, remember you said you'd be happy to take my $500? I think I'm going to need you to take my $500. That's what I was going to, Angela, that was my initial plan, was to send that exact message. But since they specifically said they didn't want me to DIY it and they wanted a professional, then I didn't want to send that email to them, because I feel like they would think they sent it twice, the same exact thing twice with no edits. So I think that they would have said no, or possibly walked away from the sale. So instead, I called the engineer and I said, I need you to take my $500. He started cracking up. He goes, okay, talk to me. And I said, I found the problem. And he said, did you? And then he said, is the beam lower than it should be? Yep. I guess you're an engineer for a reason. And he goes, tell me why. And then I said, it looks like it rotted at the end and it had previous water intrusion a long time ago. And then he said, okay. He said, do you want me to look at it? And I said, well, I was thinking about sistering it myself and repairing it, but I wanted to call you first before I did anything. And he said, no, go with your gut. That's exactly what you should do. And I was like, oh, yeah? He said, yeah, that's exactly what I'd be recommending to you. So you should do what you think is right. And I said, yeah, but the buyer is still going to want you to assess it and say that it's structurally sound. And then he said, here's what we'll do. DIY fix it. He literally said that to me. He said, DIY fix the roof. And then I'm going to come out Monday or Tuesday and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to inspect it. And he said, if you did it right, I'll write you a report saying your roof is structurally sound, and that everything was done right and the repair is good. He said, if you do it wrong, I'll tell you what's missing and how to fix it. And then I'll come back 2 days later after you fixed it and I'll write you the report then. Fucking A, dude. Told you, all good experiences with these engineers. Sweet Daddy Jones! How's it going, my dude? Iron Bar, how we feeling, dude? I feel like I haven't said hi to you, man. How you feeling? Sweet Daddy Jones, thanks for 95 months. How you doing, buddy? What a great fucking guy, right? No kidding. So now get ready for the funny part, chat. Are you ready? No, no, no. Hold on, Anubi. Hold on. I want to remember that, but listen. I said something and he goes, yeah, I need you to call me tomorrow morning, though. And then his wife goes, yeah, because he's on a date. I was on speakerphone the whole time with his wife sitting next to him in the car. And I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she starts cracking up and she goes, no, 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 we want you to get your house fixed. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are so freaking legendary. Yeah, Sweet Daddy Jones, kinda. Yeah, thanks, Iron Bar. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. So she was very, very nice. And then I said, I don't want to ruin date night. And he said, no, it's fine. And he said, I'll talk to you in the morning and we'll schedule something for early next week. He said, just call me tomorrow at about 9 or 10 a.m. Apparently engineers all work all the time, by the way. Since one's on vacation texting me and the other one's date night answering the phone. He's so funny because he goes, well, honey, it's Nomak, my new best friend. So I had to answer the phone. I was like, yeah, it's true. We are best friends now. Like, he's such a normal, down-to-earth guy, right? Yeah. It does, Iron Bar. Yeah, it does. 100% one of us. That's right. And then I said, okay, if I could just ask you 2 quick questions before I go, before I get started on the project, and then I'll let you go for the evening. I said, the first one is, when I sister the joint, would you do 2 boards or 1? He said, 1 is fine, but I'll tell you what, no one ever complains that you over-reinforce the structure. If you want to put 2 and do overkill. He said, that's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you. And then he said, what's the second question? Yeah, I said twitch.tv/Nomak. No. I said, second question is not a question. I just want to tell you that we just had a newborn baby. I'm such a sucker, chat. And you are helping us sell our house so that we can move into our new home with our new baby. And his wife went, oh my God. I think she was already a little bit toasted. She goes, we love babies. It's like, see, got to pull the baby card sometimes, chat. And I said, I just wanted to tell you that you guys feel better about being so damn helpful. And they were like, oh, that's so cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. And blah, 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 blah. And I said, let me let you go now and enjoy your date. And all of this conversation was happening at like 6:30 in the evening. So even more crazy. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, Iron Bar, right? You don't make it to engineering school without having an obsession for problem solving, right? I got that vibe twice today, obviously. Yeah. So that's the plan, chat. I already bought all the lumber and all the screws. It cost me $85. I'm going to sister both joints tomorrow. I'm going to double layer them. That's step 1. I'm also going to build a subwall underneath the beam only if he tells me to, after he sees it. Because that's what the second engineer was saying. Maybe you need to support it from underneath. But I'm not going to do that until he looks at it and says what he thinks I should do. He's the engineer. So I'm going to do the thing he... You know what's funny, chat? The first thing I offered in the beginning was fucking sistering the joints! And now here we are! Sistering the joints! However, the reason I'm comfortable DIYing it now is because then an engineer is going to inspect my work and say whether it's structurally sound. And he's going to write me a report to give to the owner about the structure, right? So that's the plan. And I'm hoping this is sufficient for them. That we will show them the report, like here's the report from the engineer. He did a full inspection. He did not recommend further repairs. He's most likely going to recommend that when you re-roof it in the future, I'm going to give them my referral from my new roofer guy. He knows how to fix a valley without having to jack up your whole house. So he's explained it to me. Basically, he's going to put OSB filler in where the gap is and some composite material so that the decking is clean again. It doesn't matter how he does it, just that I know a guy who can already means that a roofing company could easily fix the problem, the slight depression, when it gets re-roofed when they do it in the future. They don't have to do that for 5 to 10 years, but when the time comes, now they know there's a solution that is not rebuilding your fucking house, right? Which is what I think they're most worried about. That would be neat, Arden, yeah. Pre-drinking saves money at the restaurant, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where his wife was. Oh my god! She's so cute. I'm looking forward to working with him. I'm gonna do all of this tomorrow. I'm gonna fix the structure tomorrow. I'm obviously taking a little bit of a risk, right? Because I'm not having a company do it. But I feel like an engineer assessing it afterwards makes it okay, right? It makes it the best of both worlds. They get to have the opinion of a licensed, contracted professional engineer looking at the work that has been done, right? I'm also not going to mention that I DIY'd it. At this point, I don't think that's relevant at this point, and I'm not going to tell them that I DIY'd it unless they ask specifically who did the work. They're not paying for it, so I don't need to provide receipts or anything, you know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah, I like that, Disney. I like that a lot. Yeah. Still waiting on that washing machine. Well, Lady Mac is still stuck in it, so it's going to be a sec. I could say that, Benny. Yeah, I could do something like that. But hopefully I'm going to get it assessed, and I'm going to say, oh, it looks like it was already repaired years ago. So nothing to worry about, even though it was like I just did it on Saturday. That's true, Benny. He sent me to do it. The fact that he was so confident in me was kind of like, I think it's because as soon as I said, I think I should sister the joints and connect them to the trusses, I think as an engineer, he knew, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. You should do that. Since he was going to suggest that anyway. So that felt really good, right? That I wasn't like way out in left field and didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. That I've done enough carpentry and construction over the last decade that I do understand how to fix the structure. That felt really good. And the fact that he was like, just do it. I want you to do that. You know what I mean? You know, that's true, Dizzy. The engineer told me he thinks I should do it. That's true. So we're not even doing something weird. He literally said you should do it. So that's fair. We don't even have to be dishonest. He told me to, and he said, I'll inspect it afterwards. Yeah, I was deputied by the engineer. And it is an easy fix, chat, and I'm going to overfix it. And it's going to probably take me like 4 hours to fix it. I'm going to have to get in the garage and get in that ugly attic space, which is why I'm doing it in the morning, so it's not 1,000 degrees up there. And it's going to suck being up there working on it, but it's fine. If it saves me 10 grand, remember, 5 to 10 grand is my guess. It could be more than that if they need to replace more stuff or they find, or they're like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this. You just never know with a company how honest they're going to be or how much they need to do to repair it their way. You know what I mean? They could say, we need to replace the whole ceiling in your garage, the wall, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? That's why I want the engineer to be the one who makes the choices. So, back to the remedy. My final remedy response to them is going to be, we accept. Remedy over. I told my agent that, and he was like, he's like, send an email explaining all the stuff you're going to do. And then I said, why don't we just accept? Just tell them we accept their terms. Okay, you win. We'll do it. Right? Because that's where we are now. We don't need to counter. We don't need to explain anything. Just say, yes, we accept. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Benny. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to mention it. It's irrelevant information. They didn't ask for the money or the solar panels. No, they asked for nothing. They just asked for literally just those two things. Fix the HVAC problem, make sure it's in good working order, and fix the depression in the roof. They haven't found your Twitch, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. The fact that the engineer's going to look at it. Now, he might come in on Monday and goes, dude, you didn't do that right. You need to take that back down and do it like this and do it like this, right? He also could come in and say the wall is compromised. Like if he comes in and says, yeah, that wall is compromised, I'm going to have to hire a company to fix it, right? At that point. So, I mean, it's a risk even seeing an engineer because he could find it to be worse than I think it is, right? He could say, oh, man, I'm sorry, but sistering's not enough. Like, this is wrong. There's bigger problems than you think. Like, there is a risk that he says something like that. And he's not going to lie. He doesn't know me. We do seem like best friends on the phone, but he's not going to stake his career on lying for me about my roof. You know what I mean? He doesn't know me. They didn't ask us to remove the depression. The way it's exactly worded is, we want you to have a structural engineer look at the structure, and I don't remember the exact wording, but essentially make sure that the housing structure is not compromised. So, yeah. They also said we want you to remove all shelving from the ceiling and make sure there's no weight on the roof because the inspector convinced them that it was a weight problem, which it fucking isn't. But he, even though he's not an engineer or a carpenter or any of those things, convinced them. I'm so salty about this fucking inspector. Not because he found a depression, but because of all of like the alarmist things he wrote in his report that were not alarmist, right? They were not big scary things like the way he wrote them. Making it sound like the house might fall over at any time is pretty bold for an inspector to do. You know what I mean? Anyways. Yeah. So, yeah. Valerian, that question makes me think, are you the buyer? You spying on me? I don't even care at this point, Chad. If they found my Twitch and they were watching, like, oh my God, he's actually going to do it himself, then don't buy it. I don't care. I'm so done, chat. It's like, just then don't fucking buy it. I don't care anymore. Like, I just have no fucks to give at this point. So, yeah. And also, I've done all the work on this house top to bottom. If you're buying the house, I did it. All of it. Like, you're buying what I built. Yeah. Now let's talk about the washer, chat. That same inspector. Let's talk about the washer. So we have the inspection, and we get home, and the washer, we put in a load of clothes, and the washer turns off out of nowhere. I was like, well, that's awful coincidental. The inspector comes in. Remember, he left that fucking radon test in our house, too? Without telling us. It's that same inspector who just left a test running in my house without telling me or asking me. Same guy. But we find out it was the next day because I didn't stream the next day, so I didn't tell you guys that the day before. We tried to run a load of clothes and the washer turned off. And the nightmare that this caused me, I worked on this for like 8 hours trying to figure out what was wrong with the washer. I'm like, how do I replace the pump? Maybe the washer went bad. Maybe it is a coincidence. Nope. It's the fucking inspector's fault. Here's what he did. He tested my GFCIs to make sure they work, and he fucking broke one. The one that makes the washer work. And I believe the way he broke it was by stabbing it with a screwdriver. So I'm guessing what he did was he put in... I have the device they use to test the GFCI. It was like $12 at Home Depot. So I have one. And he must have used a screwdriver to reset it. And he broke it. But I didn't know it was broken because it's the GFCI was flipping, but I can't see it because it's not visible with the washer. You know what I mean? And then so I replaced the GFCI and I still have the problem. And but then I find out that the reason I still have the problem is because the GFCI, this is a Nomac, was very tired and silly. I put in a 15 amp GFCI, not a 20. So that little one was mine, and I had to replace it again. So then I put the 20 amp in, and it fixed all the problems, and everything is back to normal. So there's no problem with the washer. He just broke the GFCI then when he was here. He also, I found out, wrote that in the report that it was broken. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, our washer worked before you got here. It wasn't broken before you came in. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's the washer story. But here's the thing, the whole time I thought the washer was broken. So I'm like calling appliance places, like, do you have a pump for this? They're like, no. The one guy goes, what kind of washer do you have? I said, Samsung. He goes, oh man, that sucks. Does it? He's like, yeah, don't ever buy Samsung washers and dryers. He said, those are, everybody who calls me is calling about Samsung washers and dryers. He said, buy Whirlpool. No one ever calls me about Whirlpool. He said, they're the least fixed machines I have. And then he said, if you can't afford Whirlpool, they make these 4 brands, and told me the other brands that they make. And he said, they use basically the same parts with slightly cheaper construction. But he said, Whirlpool is what you should buy. So if any of you guys want his advice as a appliance repair guy, he said he never has to repair those. But he said, the fact that he responded like that, I was like, oh, man. Yeah. And he said he didn't even have the part. So he didn't have the part of the Samsung washer and dryer. You know why people buy the Samsung washer and dryers, chat? You can hate Samsung all you want, and I do now after this weekend. They make pretty washers and dryers. I don't know why I care about that. You shouldn't. But they make them look nice. Aesthetically. But you don't really need your washer and dryer to be pretty, right? Yeah, Purple Parrot. We sold our house. We're going through inspection. That's what I'm talking about now. But I had to drain the washer manually like 5 times while trying to fix it, which involves taking out the emergency drain line and draining it into a bucket. And it takes about 10 minutes. I found out that my washer holds 7 gallons of water during the wash cycle, though. If you're wondering. I measured it like 5 times. Oh, man. I'm definitely doing that, Dizzy. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, Kinamara. That's kind of the consensus I've had. And I agree, Angela, with what you and Dizzy are saying. Yeah. We do buy with our eyes first, and I think Samsung knows that. That's why they make pretty washers and dryers. Yeah, exactly, Iron Bar, exactly. Yep. That's a great way to put it, Dizzy. Because that's why people are using them, right? Roast him on Google and Reddit. I should. So, I eventually got the washer fixed. We were both really happy. We want to take the washer and dryer with us. So I was really glad that the machine wasn't broken. Even though they're Samsung, I don't want to buy new ones. They're only 4 years old. I want to not buy new ones. Washers and dryers are very expensive. So I don't want to have that another really large expense when we're moving. You know what I mean? We already have all these other expenses. And now I got to pay this fucking engineer $500. I did tell my agent, I said, I would like you to request that $3,000 they offered us for the HVAC. I would like them to just say that we will offer $3,000 to cover remedy expenses. And I'm hoping they agree to that. Basically saying that whatever we pay for the engineer and whatever we pay for the HVAC tech, we want you to cover that since you already offered. Just use the $3,000 for both. That way I could get them to pay the $500 for the engineer. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to toss the engineer a couple solar panels. I agree. That's a great line by Dizzy. That's a really good way to write it. Because that's why people are looking for inspectors. So that's the plan, chat. That's where we are. I'm going to repair it tomorrow. Engineer will be out here early next week. HVAC tech, we'll be out here. You know what's funny, chat? Remember how I told you the guy's name at my furnace place is Mike. And I said, don't send Mike in the beginning of the call when I said that, because he guessed my age 10 years too high. And we joked and laughed about it. When he made my appointment, he goes, we're going to be there Monday from 10 to 12 or 12 to 2. I have it written down. I don't remember which one. And he said, good news. I'm sending Mike. Fuck you, dude. Like, okay. To be fair, Mike is an awesome guy. Outside of age guessing, when it comes to furnace and AC, that dude is really awesome. Remember, he's the guy that was like, man, my furnace is really old. Do you think I should replace it? And he goes, nah, those things are tanks. He said, they don't make them like yours anymore. Leave that thing as long as it runs. Another company that didn't just try to go, yeah, you should definitely replace it. Let's get you a new furnace, right? Just like, nah, leave it. It's fine. Right, exactly, Dizzy. Well, I'm also going to have them write out that they already replaced the fan in the AC last year. Because remember, they did that for me already. And it has 2 more years of warranty with the company that makes it. So they can get a brand new one for free if it fails in the next 2 years. The furnace people can. So I'm going to tell them, I want them to just put that in writing. Yeah, they are within range of the new house, and we're going to use them for the new house too. The new house has a brand new furnace though. It's probably like 2 or 3 years old. But that roof guy I met, I told him I'm going to call you back in a month to come look at the roof on my new house. So I made a lot of connections for the new house too. I also told the engineer today, I said, there's a bunch of hairline cracks in the basement of the new house. And he goes, don't worry about those. And I was like, are you sure? He said, yes, I get called about them every single day. And they're never a problem. As long as they're vertical cracks, not horizontal cracks, you don't need me to come look at them. He said, if you're ever worried, take a picture of the crack and text it to me, and I'll put your mind at ease. He's such a fucking awesome guy. Like, he's such an awesome guy. That was during the first conversation, not during date night conversation. That's fair, Kinamari, yeah. And the owner told me that. Remember, Kinamari, when I had the owner out, he said, do you remember? Remember when you were there? He said as much. He said, like, we're not hurting for business. We're so busy. Did they, Benny? I love that. I love a company who's just not like, let's replace your furnace because we want the money. Right? That's awesome. I like that they're like that. Hi, Shiro Demon. Good to see you. All right. So tomorrow morning after stream ends, I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to climb up in the attic and repair the ceiling. It's weekend and it's family time, but we only have 3 weeks. So engineers coming Monday. I got to fix it this weekend, right? So I'm going to miss family day tomorrow, but that's okay. It's for the greater good of our long-term family life, right? Jonah, you know what's funny? I put the fancy bassinet together today, and Jonah and Gideon ran into their bedroom and got their fake tools, and they were there like fixing it with me and helping me. It was so fucking cute. So I'm like sitting there putting it together. And you know the worst part is I'm struggling, but I can't be like, this stupid, because one of the screws got stuck and I couldn't get it out. And Jonah kept going, Daddy, I'll help you. I'll help you. I get it. I was like, okay. Yeah. Have they reacted to Asher the Basher? Gideon basically just likes to say Asher the Basher, but is disinterested in the baby. He has no interest in him at all. He's just indifferent to his presence. But he likes going, Asher the Basher! Such a gremlin. Jonah wants to touch his head, and only his head. I don't know why. How are the dogs? Both totally fine. I feel like Sadie was probably thinking, another one? Come on! And Ziva was like, can I lick it in the mouth? Yeah? So, yeah. They were both cool with it, though. No big deals. Like I said, we don't have any complaints about Asher coming home. It's been smooth sailing. The only thing, Lady Mac's been losing sleep, and she's going to be losing sleep for a while, but that's the nature of me working thirds. Right? This just is the way it's going to be. But we knew that. It's not like this is a surprise. The goal will be to eventually keep, even so we can start now, the pediatrician said, trying to space his nighttime feeds out and get him eating more during the day and slowly work our way to having, you know, a 4-hour gap at night. A 5-hour gap at night, a 6, you know, just work him towards eventually getting to 8 hours. Right now he can only go about 3 hours. So that's going to be, but it happens fast. It's not like it's going to take a year or two. It's going to happen over the course of the first like 2 months. And after 2 months, Jonah was sleeping through the night. After 2 months, Gideon was giving us the middle finger and saying, I will never fucking sleep. So we'll see which one it will be. Hopefully we get more Jonah than Gideon. Yeah. Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to fix those joists. I'm going to call the engineer in the morning, make an appointment with him. Monday we're going to have the HVAC people out to look at our machine and make sure everything is in good working order. That's our plan. Their agent is at a funeral. I'm not in a hurry for them to send the remedy over, right? That's bad karma in the universe to rush people going through such a hard time. I'm assuming we'll hear from her on Monday and we'll get the request to remedy from her. I told my agent I just want him to send her one text. Please tell her we're sorry we've been bothering her during all this. And then this is exactly what I told him to say. If they send over, because they haven't sent it yet, but he knows they're going to, because that's what she told him. If they send over the same request to remedy with the $3,000 thing, just tell them we want the $3,000 to be for both remedies. And if they do that, I guarantee my clients will accept it, because we will. That way we can get the $3,000 to cover both things. Now, if they don't do that, if they just leave it for HVAC, it's fine. We're out $500. That sucks, but it's better than not selling the house and all of this falling apart, right? So it's okay. That's all I got, chat. That's all. I mean, that's 2 hours of updates, but that's been my last 2 days. It was actually kind of fun, chat, getting the inspection report and going through it and realizing almost all of it is fluff. And obviously the buyers thought that too, because they didn't ask us to fix all that stuff. But then going through and fixing the things that I think they'll appreciate, like putting a new step in the garage and replacing the outlet, like things that would be annoying in a new house that you don't want to deal with. I tried to eliminate all those things that were on the list. And I feel like they'll appreciate that. And that's probably why they sent that nice email saying we're very grateful that you've remedied a bunch of stuff we didn't even ask you to. So have you had anything good to eat in the last 2 days? Nope. Dude, I've been on granola bars and Pringles for like 48 hours. Hi, Ninu. Thank you for the raid. How are you? A Belf Night friend. Uh-oh. 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 Hi, Ninu. How are you? Yeah, pretty much, newbie. Hey, no problem, Benny. No problem. I feel very validated that my initial solution to fixing the structural problems in my house from an engineering standpoint were what the engineers would have recommended. That felt really good because I feel like all of my research and learning and reading and studying has paid off, that I know that much about a house now. You're good. Thank you for the raid. Hey, if they're a friend of Belf Chat, they're a friend of ours. Make sure you toss a follow and say hi. Thank you very much for the raid. I really appreciate it. She's a funny Dorcas. That's the only kind of streamer you watch, obviously. Do I have DoorDash and Uber Eats gift cards on your throne? I don't. It's a good idea, but I don't. When you ban Belf for fun, do you have to ban all of the raiders? What do you think, raiders? You in for a ban or a spicy little timeout or? We're actually going to Uber Eats chicken wings today. I do know that. Lady Mac's been craving chicken wings for like 4 days. And we happened to get an Uber Eats coupon for 10 free chicken wings. And she was like, boom, we're doing that tomorrow. I was like, you got it, mama. You got it. So it's going to be chicken wing day today. That's going to be a good day. It's from our favorite chicken wing place, too. Like, what a world. So, yeah. We also sent the $1,000 to the house we're buying, so we're pretty hard committed on that now. Man, remember we had to pay them $1,000 for earnest money. We sent that on yesterday. So we really need the sale of our house to not fall through. Otherwise, it's gonna get real awkward real fast. Yeah, chat. They would only take the money from me via check or cash. They were like, you could bring cash into the office. I would rather not. Can't you just do this digitally? What year is it? Chet, how many of you just have a check if you needed one right now? Be careful. If you answer I have one, you're probably over 40 years old. How? See, Dizzy, I also found some checks. Do you want to spoil your butthole? How big's that check gonna be? That's gonna be a big check. Benny tipped $25 and said chicken wings are on me, baby. Hell yeah. Thank you, Benny. You're so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's as big as it needs to be. Yeah. Me even, yeah, your face? Well, that's awesome. Hi, your face. Good to see you. Newbie. The side eye is what I did too. Is it really Kinamara? Oh, goodness. Goodness. All it says is chicken dinner. I ad-libbed his sub message. Because that's how I read it in my head. Do you, Snow Queen? Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Benny, for dinner tomorrow. I appreciate it. So will Lady Mac. I guarantee it. Oh, he wanted me to play PUBG and get some chicken dinners. Is that what it was? Yeah. Yeah. Adding Uber Eats gift cards to my throne is a great idea, by the way. Arden, don't worry. I'm right there with you. Arden, if we ever meet in person, we can sit and talk about the good old days. All of us who are no longer in our mid-20s, you know, like most of Twitch viewers, can talk about the good old days and how we have new parts of our body that hurts. Like, yeah, look, my knee does this now. That's new. Yeah, my elbow has been hurting for, I don't know, 15 years. It's gonna get better soon, I'm sure. Hey, there's aliens! Right on time. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you again, Benny. That was very sweet of you. You know what's funny, Benny? You want to hear the cutest thing ever? Lady Mac goes, I really wanted to take the kids out, all of them together, but I didn't put the Benny wagon together yet. It's catching on! It's like, that's amazing. Hi, Admiral Bro Code. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you, man. How we feeling? Oh, that is awesome, Arden. Heck yeah. I'm glad you weren't in pain the whole drive. That's really good news. Heck yeah. We'll take that. We'll take that every day of the week. I'm going to be honest with you, chat. I'm not a young spry chicken anymore. I'm 25 years old, if you can't tell from the gray in my beard. But I feel healthier now than I have in a long time. I've lost like 15 pounds this summer. I've been so active working on the house. I feel strong and healthy. And I mean, it's obviously a symptom of how much I've worked on the house and the yard and everything, getting it ready. Oh no, Sabarix, I'm sorry to hear that. Wait, maybe it's Saber. Nah, let's go with Sabarix. You can correct me, though. Oh, shut up, Fakerino. The old Benny wagon. Call me whatever. I mean, what? We call him Barracks. There you go. I like that. Yeah, Admiral Brocode, I didn't take like 6 Advil in the last 2 days. What are you talking about? Who told you that? I said I feel healthy and strong, okay? Leave me alone. I have this problem, chat. And a lot of you are going to say, well, fucking of course you do. But when I'm very sleep deprived, I get joint pain. But if you Google, does sleep deprivation cause joint pain? Spoiler, it does. Because your body's like, hey, go take a nap. I've had 4 people who I said this in chat and I got called daddy. I get called daddy every day. So not just in chat, in real life too. Yeah, for sure, Arden, for sure. Oh God, yeah, Kinamara. Goodness, goodness. Goodness, goodness. All right. Well, I'm a bro code. If you want to swing down, I'm going to be doing some joist repairs tomorrow. We're going to do some sistering. Not to be confused with words that rhyme with that. Lady Mac's still been teasing me every day, a newbie, by the way. You'll all be happy to know that she's been relentlessly flirting with me and being inappropriate constantly, even knowing that we can't do anything for 3 more weeks. Or maybe she's playing the long game. She's like, I'm going to destroy him in 3 weeks. Just priming me. Yeah. Today, just casually, she goes, look, my Facebook is suggesting I buy lingerie. Talk to me in 3 weeks, babe. I mean, buy it now. But I was like, also, that's not lingerie. Those are pasties. Buy some real lingerie. Oh, God, Barracks. I'm sorry to hear that and happy for you. I don't miss doing that. All the stuff above head with a giant heavy air-powered nail gun above head, yeah. I'm actually going to be doing it with galvanized bolts, is how I'm going to sister it. With the torque things. Lols, I forget what they're called. The torque washers for the bolts. That's how I'm going to do it. Yeah, exactly, Anubi. I think she is. You have a deep tissue massage tomorrow, so you can't come help me work on my house? Okay, dick. Rub it in. No, that sounds like an awesome day. Yeah, carriage bolts. I've been reading a lot about it, and since I'm doing a double sistering with the joist in between, carriage bolts seem to be the best to get the right compression. I'm still going to use Timberlock screws to tie it to the joist that it connects to, the adjacent one where it meets. I'm going to use Timberlocks for that, though. Because it's angled. I don't want to use carriage bolts on an angle. Bolts are always the best way to go. Good. I'm glad you think so, too. The internet can be a shitty place for advice, but I'm glad you also feel that way. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Angela. Yeah. Who knew they did carpentry? Shut up, Anubi. The torture's been enough, okay. Oh, that's good, Admiral Bro Code. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you're doing that for yourself. I'm glad you're doing that for yourself, man. Because I'm sure there's days, Admiral Bro Code, where you sit down for the day and you're sore from head to toe. No, Kinamara. To be fair, when I first put the boards up, I'm going to put them up with regular screws to hold them in place, and then I'm going to add the carriage bolts. That's going to be my order of operation. So I'm going to put the sister boards in, screw them in with regular screws, and then I'm going to put the holes in for the carriage bolts while they're already screwed in. That way everything is perfectly aligned and I don't have to worry about missing. I'm going to be in a clearance space of only a foot deep. So my head is going to be really wedged in there while I do this, so I want to make it as easy as possible on myself. It's going to be fucking miserable up there. It's an attic. Oh, God, yeah. Benny, thank you for the gigantic, sophisticated banana. Followed by the Angela Derpy banana and the Belf Knight standard definition one. The trifecta, really. That is disappointing, Barracks. I'll agree with that, yeah. We did get the new house. We're in contract for it, Knox. We sold our house, and we're currently going through inspection period for our house. And that's, if you want to hear what happened during inspection, Knox, I talked about it for the last hour and a half. It's a long story, I guess I'll say. But yes, as long as I can get through the inspection period, we're good to go. And that's what we're working on right now. Yeah, I just don't own a nail gun except for a pin nailer for the Lols, which obviously can't do this job. So that's why I'm using screws. I'm basically going to pre-drill the screws into the board and just put it in place so that it can hold it there until I put the carriage bolts in. That's the plan anyways. I'm going to put 4 carriage bolts per piece because the pieces are only about 36 inches long. I think 4 is plenty for a 36-inch piece. I could do 6, but it feels like overkill. Yeah. Kinamara, thanks for the Gigantify Nox, you too. I do not want to be paid for my hard work, Nox, in sausages. Benny, stop ripping people's bananas apart. Come on. Good, Admiral Rocode. Me too. I feel really good this summer, honestly. Yeah. I would chest bump you if you were here. I'm feeling really good. I feel like it's important that I feel this way while having kids in general. I should try to stay this healthy even when I'm not remodeling a house. You know what I mean? I think it'll make me a dad that's active and present in their sports and their activities they do for a long time if I can keep myself in good physical condition. Also, as Chad has told me 1,000 times, I'm fucking old, so... I'm saying I'm not hungry for meat right now, Nox, okay? Stop shoving your sausage in my face. I'm not hungry, okay? Also, we're hype trading. I totally noticed it a minute and 20 seconds after it started. Hooray! Thanks for the hype train. Professional streamer, by the way. That makes sense for the lulz. Yeah, like I said, the screws are just temporary placeholders so the board doesn't fall on me while I'm trying to install it. Really, a newbie? You too? You've been hanging out with Mike at the HVAC company, a newbie? We're not having a dick hype train, okay? No, okay? This is not Benny on a Saturday night. We're not having... It's not even It is kind of Saturday now, I guess. It's not Saturday night, though. Oh, God, Nox. Okay. Your resub message is an eggplant. Nice, Admiral Brocode. Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up, man. Wait, how tall are you? We're like the same size. Need more carbs. It's true. It's true. Hype for dick? Did you just say hype for dick? Okay. That sounds like a voice alert. Oh, you're 6'3". So yeah, you probably are pretty cut then. I'm 6 feet and I weigh 215. Yeah. Yeah. Not a machine. Thanks for the pooping. Listen, we had a long day with a lot of poop and pee in our house. I could go without that emo right now, machine, please. Okay? The entire first floor of my house smelled like poop for like 3 hours. Okay? It's a long day. Yeah. At least the emote is using a toilet. That's true. That's true. At least someone is. 68% hype train, chat. Oops, huh? Sure. Sure. It's not edging, chat. It's just an accident. Wait, you see 69? Do you really? Mind that. One time I went to Taco Bell and the lid popped off and I Baja blasted my pants. That's true. Some of the kids Baja blasted their pants today in the daycare. Yeah. Yeah, it says 84% now, yeah. You know, it probably, I don't know why, Angela, but I bet it does look different for lots of people because Twitch be twitching. Yeah. Thanks for the hype train. Thanks for the bits, Admiral Brocode. You buttheads. I'm surprised you didn't try to stop it at 99. For the memes and the dreams, babies. Memes and the dreams. So, one thing to talk about, chat, is now we're going to have a lot of talks about my schedule over the next 3 weeks. Because me and Lady Mac have to make a decision about whether Jonah goes to school in the morning or the afternoon at the new house. So that doesn't mean a massive change in my schedule on Twitch. It just means flirting with changing my start time, which I've kind of already done for the last month and a half because I haven't had a choice. But we might flirt with changing the start time of the stream. I don't know yet. Me and Lady Mac have to have a lot of life conversations on what makes sense for us. We both agree, though, that me being awake in the evening is better than me being awake in the morning. Because when I'm awake in the morning, my only family time is with the daycare. When I'm awake in the evening, it's just our family. So it's just straight up family time. So we're really leaning towards me sleeping in the morning. The only change that would be for stream is no more streaming past 6 o'clock. I would have to be very disciplined to make sure I'm going to bed at the right time. So I would need Izzy to yell at me every night. Nox, thank you for the bits, baby. Appreciate it. They make me feel like I've got a lot of problems in front of me still, Nox. Every time my kids are bad, Admiral Bro Code, I just show them that emoji. I'm not going to scar them for life like that. Absolutely not. Yeah. I still remember, Izzy, when I first started reducing my stream hours, you were like one of the primary people like, why are you still live? I still remember. Well, the thing is, I won't be helping with the daycare in this scenario. But I think that when Lady Mac gets into a rhythm in the new house, remember, Jonah starts school this year, Gideon starts school the year after. So the daycare is going to be missing Jonah for about 3 hours a day. And then it's going to be missing 2 of our boys for about 3 hours a day. And so, yeah. And also, at any point, she can say, this isn't working, I need you in the morning, and I'll switch right back. Right? If she's like, this is just too much, I need your help, I need you here in the morning, then I'll be there. You know? It's not like I'm going to be like, nah, I already changed my schedule. Well, you'll be able to do that again, Izzy. Be able to do that again. Yeah. I think I want to sleep in the morning, though. If I sleep in the morning, by the time stream starts, I will have only been up for about 9 hours, 10 hours. So I won't be super tired at the beginning of stream anymore. That's true, Angela. Well, that's not entirely true, though. No, the schedule would have me waking up at 11:30 in the morning. So I'll still get daylight. That's the two possible schedules. One of them is I would sleep from 6:30 to 11:30 in the morning. And then I would be able to take a nap from 12 to 2. So I would be able to sleep both of those times. So it's not like Lady Mac won't have me at all while the daycare's open, just not until 11:30. And then basically I could come home every day at noon and put Gideon down for his nap, and I could nap with him if I still need more sleep. You know what I mean? So I could try to train myself to nap with Gideon every day, since he already naps every day at 12:30. And maybe that would make it so I sleep 5 hours and then 2 hours. You know what I mean? That could be something I try to teach myself to do. And then by the time I pick up Jonah from school, it'll be 2:45. I'll be home by 3 p.m. and my day will be over. Daycare closes at 3:30, and then it would be all family time after that. That's kind of the main idea we're flirting with right now, is doing it like that. The complication will be weekends. And I told Lady Mac that what I'm leaning towards is, and you know how right now we do midnight Mondays? I'm thinking I would do a Friday streams end early. Not like super early, but like instead of ending at 6 a.m., we end at 4 a.m. so that I wake up earlier on Saturday. Because I don't want to sleep until 2 p.m. every Saturday. You know what I mean? That's our main family day. But if I go to sleep at 4:30 and slept 7 hours, I'd be up at 11:30. The boys wake up at 8:30. By the time Lady Mac gets them dressed and breakfast and everything, then I'll wake up, right? So that could work too. So that's kind of like the main ideas I've been thinking about. Reboot, that emote is literally me 24/7 right now. How are you, buddy? It's good to see you. This seems like the plan we're probably going to go with. I also think this is the plan we have to go with long term. If I'm going to be a streamer long term, once the kids go to school, I have to sleep while they're in school, right? Or I'll never see them ever again. So this is the long-term schedule, whether we like it or not. So just going for it now would get us there before it's time, because they won't go to school all day until Jonah's in first grade, which is still 2 years away. Right. So yeah. I kind of like this idea. I don't like the idea of building a schedule where I only sleep 5 hours a day, obviously. But if I can start napping, so here's how it's going to work. I have to wake up at 11:30 to take Jonah to school. But it's only 7 minutes away from the new house. So it's it's 14 minutes, 2 drives, but I also have to walk him to the door and stuff. So we'll say 20 minutes. I only have to be awake for about 20 minutes plus about 10 minutes to get dressed, right? So I could possibly fall asleep right after that and it won't be that hard. And as soon as I get home, Gideon goes to sleep at 12:30. So there's got to be something in there that probably will work. You know what I mean? And eventually, you know what I've learned in the last couple weeks, chat? If you get tired enough, you can fall asleep at any time. There's a certain exhaustion point where insomnia can fuck right off. Literally yesterday, I laid down in bed. I was so effing tired. And I fell asleep before the boys. Lady Mac was like, yeah, you fell asleep as soon as you hit the pillow. I was like, yeah, man, I was done. How far is the school by foot? I think 30 minutes or so. Something like that. Roughly. There is a bike path, but it doesn't go all the way. I've actually thought to myself, Angela, like, I should ask the city to finish the bike path and make it go all the way to the elementary school, because it doesn't. You have to take the bike path and then get on the sidewalk and take the road, which makes the path less direct. But the bike path would still, if it kept going, it would be going through the woods. So they should have just kept it going. Yeah, pretty much, Kinamara, yeah. Reboot. Listen, don't judge me, okay? This is going to be the most miserable 2 months. I'm already a month and a half into those 2 months. And we knew it was going to be miserable. You guys knew it was going to be miserable. Who has a baby, buys a house, and sells a house all at the same time? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be miserable, but it's going to be super worth it at the end when we have our brand new baby home and healthy. We have a brand new house that's really nice in a good school district, a nice quiet neighborhood with a creek in the backyard and a park next door. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be worth it, right? It's just been hell to get to this point. Fuck the HOA. I'm not even going to ask them for stuff. I'm literally going to do everything and just see what happens. That's my plan, Dizzy. I'm literally going to do whatever I want and see if they ever say anything. I also feel like I should just lie. Oh, yeah. So you weren't being facetious. Yeah. I'm also just going to lie to my neighbors. Oh, I totally asked the HOA. What do you mean? Yeah, I asked them. In my head. I was in the backyard. I said, hey, HOA, do you mind if I put up solar panels? Oh, I guess they're fine with it since they didn't say anything. This is like that episode of The Office where you just declared bankruptcy. There you go, Pat. Now we're talking. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do, Dizzy. They don't return your phone calls anyways. I've left 2 voicemails with the HOA and they've never called me back. I'll just leave it on a voicemail. I'm going to be building a fence this weekend. Let me know if you think that's an issue. Yeah, that's probably the plan. You know who I'm going to ask if they care about the fence? The neighbors. I'm going to say, hey, this is what my fence is going to look like. Do you mind if I put it right next to yours right here? I don't have to tie to yours. I can put a second post. That's up to you. That's what I'm going to do. I already told the one neighbor when I was there I was going to put a fence right there. She goes, we don't care what you do over there. I was like, oh, good. Watch them pick up this time. Then I hang up. Try to call back at a busier time. Yeah. Is there really, Dizzy? I love that. That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling really hopeful right now, chat. I was really down today, though. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if you had talked to me like 8 hours ago, I felt like shit, man. Like, mentally. Not as much physically, just like I was so mentally drained, like, trying to solve this fucking problem. And talking to multiple engineers, even though they were helpful. It's a lot, right? Being on the phone for hours and hours and hours trying to solve this problem. Edmonton Castle House. Let's see. Oh, wow, cool. That's delightfully nerdy. Just delightfully nerdy. There you go, Angela. Hey, I'm about to let me know if there's going to be a problem. I'm going to silent consent. Bye. They never responded. I don't know why. I just went ahead and built it. Yeah. That's super cute, Disney. I love that. It's weird that it looks like it's just sitting on the roof, though. Like, it looks like it got dropped there by accident. Like, oops. Yeah. I'm sure there's more stuff I'm not remembering, chat. But yeah. I can't think of anything else right now. It looks like we passed the radon test. Since they didn't ask about the radon or anything. Also, they didn't ask about the roof, which I was really glad, because I don't think the roof needs repaired, but you never know with an inspector. They didn't ask us to replace the windows or mention the windows. So I feel like all in all, it's fine. Don't get me wrong, a structural engineering problem is a pain in the ass, right? Did he find the 6 roofs? Nope. He didn't have a ladder. Everything he said was from standing on the ground with a flashlight. He's an inspector who doesn't use a ladder. That tells you all you need to know, in my opinion, that he's not a good fucking inspector. Every inspector should have a ladder. How are you getting into crawl spaces that are up in the attic? How are you looking at those things? He literally inspected the inside of my attic from the ground. You know what I mean? With a flashlight looking up inside. Yeah. You're right about the drone. He could be looking at my roof with the drone. But yeah, he did not notice it. He did put unconventional flashing on back roof. Might warrant an inspection. And that is where the 6 roofs are. So he technically did see it. It's not like I'm trying to hide it. It's not leaking and it's not a problem right now. It's just that when it gets re-roofed, when they re-roof it, the roofer's going to go, holy fuck, there's so much roofing on this side. But it's not causing the house any structural problems or anything like that. On that side of my house, I have beautiful trusses, and there's 12 of them. You could probably put 6 more layers of roof on there, and it'd be fine. It's beautifully built on that side. I love looking at the attic. Those of you who love beautiful, like, seamless design that looks perfectly built would love the way that attic looks. It's like a perfect pattern of repeating pieces that just looks, like, gorgeous. It's just so nicely built on that side. Yeah, no kidding, Angela. So, yeah. I like that the owners were very sweet in their email. That makes me happy. We really wanted to sell the house to not a big corporation who price gouges it for rent. Don't get me wrong, we would have. We don't have really room to be principled right now. We would have sold it to them if we had to. But I'm glad we're selling it to a family that it's their first house. They got a new baby. They're just starting out, you know. That's kind of cool to me, and I'm just sentimental, so I appreciate that, you know. A lot of you are like, yeah, who cares? But there's a part of me that's just happy that I did all this hard work on this house to make it look nice, and another family will raise a family here. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool to me. So, yeah. And it was a nice, very human email, but it was also an email saying we still want you to get an engineer to look at it. So, yeah. That's the plan, chat. The weird thing is, they won't know what we did until 2 days before the sale closes, which is kind of terrifying. Right? Are you, Angela? Good. I hopefully a lot of you are a little bit sentimental like me too, that we're not selling it to some Airbnb or corporation that's going to price gouge the rent or anything like that. It's literally just a family that wants to raise a family here. Terrifying for them, maybe. I guess that's also true. Yeah, Angela. Fix that joist with like cotton candy. Yeah. But yeah. I agree with that, Dizzy. If we have the report from the engineer that says everything is fine, no additional remedies necessary, then I think we're good to go. I might actually send that to them before the 2 days before. Right? Just so they can see it's already done. Like we've already done it. It's fine. But also waiting till 2 days before is better in some ways too, right? Use the pin nail gun. Oh God. You can pull pin nailed boards out with your bare hands. That would certainly do it. Goodness. Oh gosh. Now I'm thinking I should do 6 bolts instead of 4. I might go back to Home Depot and get 4 more bolts. No, 10's too many. The board would have so many holes in it. No, you know what I'll do? I'll stagger them. 1 top, 1 bottom, 1 top, 1 bottom. The 4 carriage bolts. That'll be good. Yeah. Just 100% bolts holding the house together. No boards needed. There you go. Angela, I can tell you've thought about this. Put squirrel-sized holes in the roof and drop peanuts in them. Goodness gracious. Chat, can I tell you, there was roadkill in front of my house, and it was a possum, which made me really sad. I hope it's not our possum who visits our yard. In my head, it's not. It's a different possum. But the city didn't come get it or clean it. So I cleaned it. I went out there with my shovel and I was like, I'll get rid of the dead animal in the road. And so no good deed goes unpunished. I go to chuck it into the woods and it catches on a tree branch and is just hanging on the tree branch in the woods, like staring at you. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. What are the odds? So then here I am with a shovel in the woods trying to knock the fucking thing out of the tree. I was just trying to be a good Samaritan. Yeah. I should have walked away and left it there, yeah. Just a dead possum hanging from a tree. I know exactly, Bjorn, exactly. Are you trying to send a message? Yeah, apparently. You can be fined heavily for picking up roadkill? What, really? Is it legal to clean up roadkill? No! What? Ohio's law is so good, though. It says in Ohio that you cannot clean up roadkill. However, if you hit a deer, you are welcome to take it home with you. It's such an Ohio law to have. Oh, man. Anyways, I've already picked up the roadkill. It had been there for like 2 weeks, so it wasn't fresh. It's too late now. I like the first Reddit question. The first Reddit My question says, can I legally take the non-deer roadkill home with me? And the first comment says, I found RFK's Reddit account. Amazing. That's amazing. Oh. Is it really? Yeah. No, I don't have to delete the YouTube VOD. I was just kidding about the roadkill, chat. I didn't actually clean anything up. I'm just doing a performative thing to get subs on Twitch. This was all a made-up story. None of that actually happened. Ha, gotcha. Tricked you. How'd you go in chat? You thought that story was real the whole time. Who cleaned it up then? A crow took it. Yeah, a big crow came in and ate the carcass. Yeah. He dropped it in the woods, though, across the street. So weird, right? Well, here it says the road maintenance crews are supposed to pick up roadkill. Yeah. Really, Angela, huh? Well, we don't really have eagles here. We have hawks and we have crows. And, you know, you're right. We do have turkey vultures. We do also have those. Yeah, wild reboot. Wild. There you go, Belle. You got it. It was the majestic thing, the most majestic thing. A bald eagle shining like the stars on the flag came gently down and picked up the roadkill and took it away in the most American way possible. Fuck yeah, America. Yeah. Oh, God, Nox, that's horrifying. Are there really, Kinamar? That's so cool. Yeah, I have never seen an eagle in Ohio before. I've seen many hawks. Remember, there used to be hawks circling my house all the time when we had all those sparrows nests. Like when we had those like 4 sparrow nests in our porch, the hawks were always up above our house trying to eat them. So yeah. That's true, Benny. We do have coyotes here. We could say that. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Again, chat, I didn't touch the roadkill. I was kidding. You know, I don't know that I'd be able to tell a falcon in the sky versus a hawk. Oh, it says falcons are more built for speed. And hawks are more chunky. That's how you tell the difference, I guess. Did they really, Angela? That's a mood. Did you really, for the lows? That is pretty cool. No, I live in Ohio. The majestic bird that we see, chat, is called the turkey vulture. It frequents these parts. If you've never seen the beautiful, majestic turkey vulture, chat, let me show you a picture of this beautiful creature. This is our beautiful bird of prey. There he is in all his majesty. He looks like he's trying to eat me, chat. Let's try to make that my thumbnail. You know, low key, the turkey vulture is a super important bird because it eats anything. So it's actually a really helpful bird to have around. So you don't have dead carcasses laying around and stuff like that. Yeah. So glad they're around, even though they're very ugly. Also, when they fly, when a turkey vulture flies, do you know what it looks like, chat? It looks like it doesn't actually know how to fly and it's just trying for the first time. And it looks like that every time it flies. Oh my God, what are these things? I can fly? Oh my God, Angela. Hopefully my kids don't grow up like that. I haven't dealt with the yellow jackets yet, no. I've been dealing with other problems and haven't gotten to it. Shut up, Curling Master. Hi, Curling, how are you? Oh, gosh. Oh, God. Imagine, this is like, you know who would say something like that, Curling Master? That's like something a 5-year-old would say, right? Like they'd say something to you like that, like, I'm glad you're here even though you're very ugly. That's like, Jonah told my mother-in-law, chat, she came to visit this week. Maybe this is why she doesn't visit. And Jonah goes, Mimi, you keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yo, kid, chill. Relax. It's so fucking rude. Yeah, pretty much, Kitamura, yeah. Oh. Yeah, exactly, Arden. Yeah. They do have no filter, Leland, yeah. Jonah also asked my niece, when is someone gonna put a baby in her? He doesn't understand what that question means, but man. 3 years old and asked her when someone's gonna put a baby in her. Yeah. Yeah. I almost don't know how bad this is gonna get with the shit he says. I'm just waiting for him to say something random to someone in public. The teacher hasn't complained, so I don't think it's too bad. Also, I had a really good interaction at the school, chat. 2 days ago, I was at the school. And every day, so here's how the school works, chat. All the parents get in line outside of the preschool, right? They're very organized. And then 2 runners run the door. And they come up to you, and in the beginning, they made us hold up a sign of your kid's name. And then when they get to know you, you don't need the sign anymore. And I don't need it anymore. I'm the only person picking up 2 kids. Easy to remember, right? So 2 runners run in and they get your child and they walk them to the door and hold their hand. And she was struggling to hold Jonah's hand yesterday or the day before. I don't remember which. When she came to the door and I said, hey, I just want to make sure the teacher has told you that he doesn't really use his left hand very well. And she goes, I know, that's why I make him hold my with his left hand every day. I was like, oh, well, thank you. That's awesome. So she's like helping him learn to use his left hand by holding his left hand every day. Like, that's cute. Like, that she knows enough he should practice that, right? I thought that was really, really adorable that the door runner does that with him. Oh, nice, For the Lulz. Very nice, yeah. That's a lot of birds. Do you like birds, For the Lulz, or is that a list of things you hate? You're like, all these assholes live... These are all the birds I wish weren't around here. Yeah. All right, chat, I'm all out of updates. Does anybody else have an update in their life? How you doing, chat? How was your week? Doing all right? I don't plan on taking any days off next week. Hopefully I can settle down into a better routine now that Asher's home. So I'm going to have another weekend to just get the remodeling done, fix the joist. And then on Monday, I'm going to still stick to Midnight Monday, obviously, because I'm going to have an HVAC person here. I'm going to have an engineer here, hopefully. Hopefully he can do Monday. So I'm going to be pretty busy, but I don't think I'm going to play video games tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to. Oh, yeah, For the Lulz. Yeah. Not. Chat, do you know what the most important month of the year is, and a streamer should never take days off during that month? That'd be September. Yeah, leave it to me to have all of these things going on during my most important month of the year for streaming. Yeah, super smart. Uh, oh well, it is what it is, chat. Right? I promise you, and I know a lot of you know this, and a lot of you are empathetic to my life right now. I am streaming as many hours as I possibly can. I promise you. I'm trying to find streaming time as much as I can when I can, but I'm also trying to be a present father and a present husband, and not. I don't want my wife to ever feel like she's in it alone. I like imagine our new baby comes home and then I stream that night, and she's all alone with both of our boys and her new baby, her first night home with her new baby. That would have been so shitty. You know what I mean? So I really didn't want her to have that. And then second night came and I wanted her to have 2 nights like that. So yeah. But then I really wanted to talk to you guys tonight, give you updates and share everything going on. Angela needed her fix. So I really wanted to share everything happening. And then hopefully Monday I'll have lots of good news and stuff. Woodworking stream, yeah. Babe? Okay. Just making sure it's you. And not one of the kids. Are the boys still in bed? Okay. Lady Mac's up to feed the baby. Speaking of the devil. Yeah. Wait, which part of newbie? Sorry. Oh yeah, for sure. I am definitely putting family first, and but I still want to stream as many hours as I can. It's just that's not going to be as many as normal, obviously. But now, like I said, now that Asher's home and we're in the home stretch of selling and buying our house, like I said, the repair tomorrow is only going to take me like 4 hours, is my estimate. It's not a super difficult repair or complicated repair. It requires a couple angled cuts and then lots of dragging myself into a very small attic space. But outside of that, it's not a super complicated thing to do. So I basically need to install 4 pieces of wood and 8 bolts. That's not hard. It's just cutting it all right so that it fits properly is the hard part. But I have some tools for that. I have an angle finder tool that'll tell me the exact angle to cut the wood to. And I have a laser tape measure that will help me measure tight areas that I don't want to try to stick a tape measure into. I appreciate it in newbie a lot. I do. I might actually go to Home Depot and get more bolts if it looks like it's not enough. But I feel like 4 carriage bolts plus a bunch of screws is plenty. I also bought the heavy duty timber lock screws, which have a really strong break rating. They're like, I think they're the strongest screws I can actually buy in Ohio, like at a regular store. So I think I'm doing overkill at this point, so I'm not really worried about it. Oh, thank you, Belf. Thank you. Okay. That the hospital sucks ass is an understatement. They asked him to come in early on Wednesday, and when he did, they said, "We didn't know you were coming in." Made him sit in the ER waiting room for 5 fucking hours. Then didn't do anything on Thursday. Surgery is supposed to be today, but they decided to not to do it. And instead, the several doctors are going to be discussing everything and planning next steps, so they're just keeping him in the hospital drugged up. Hopefully, that all sucks, Belf, but hopefully the doctors coming together and coming up with a plan means they saw something that they think is a better plan. Like, hopefully that's the reasoning. You know what I mean? I'll be putting out the good energy and good vibes that that's what happened, that they were like, okay, let's try a different approach. We don't think this is best. Hopefully that's what's happening. But Jesus Christ. That's so much, dude. So much. Neither of you deserve any of that. Big hugs, man. Thank you for giving me an update. You know my life is busy, so I'm going to forget a lot of stuff right now. So thank you. Yeah, goodness. All right. So, should we do a video game run tonight, chat? I guess we could do like a run. Or do you think just game on Monday? Oh goodness, Belf. Yeah, I did not hear about the leukemia part. Okay. Now the bounties require me to have over 100 viewers if I want to get paid. I can do them for free. So I probably won't get one tonight because my viewership isn't high enough, unless like I got a big raid all of a sudden. Well, I only slept an hour before stream, and I'm going to be doing construction in the morning, and I'm going to have a really busy day. So I do want to sleep in the morning before the boys wake up. So reboot. Full XCOM campaign right now. Let's go. Play something random from the 400 emails. You know, I actually wrote down a couple games from the emails that did look interesting. I also got a request for sponsorship where the person said, I want you to test the game first and send me a bunch of feedback about it before we do the sponsorship. I was like, dude, that's so weird for you to ask. Like, you want me to do game testing first and then create like a list of things I think you should fix, and then you want to pay me to sponsor? I feel like you're trying to trick me. No, they don't want to pay me for the testing. They want to pay me for the sponsor stream after the testing. Yeah, we're here for you, Belf. Every step of the way, dude. Whatever you need. Always glad to be a support system and be able to be here for good friends. Deadly Days Road Trip. I'll tell you right now if I got that one. I did not get that one. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Snow Queen. But next week I want to get back to streaming normal hours, or at least a somewhat normal amount of hours each week. Their loss indeed, yeah. Indeed. Okay. So that's probably the plan, chat. Next week we go back to streaming normal hours. I think... I don't know. I'll think about it over the weekend. I kind of want to play Darkest Dungeon 2 next weekend, because I had fun playing it the other day, and I was like, I could play it for like 1 week, and then Final Fantasy Tactics will be out, or 2 weeks, and then Final Fantasy Tactics will be out. I might do that, but I don't know. I'm going to think about it over the weekend, because I can start doing... I think I want to transition Vampire Survivors, because I'm still enjoying it, to an end of stream game, where I do like 1 or 2 runs at the end of stream. I did see the Hades 2 1.0 release date, but it's horrible timing for me. You weren't here when we talked about it, Newbie, but my plan for Hades 2 is to let you guys play it first, and I'm going to stream it after I beat Final Fantasy Tactics. I think that's my currently plan. I did not see that, Dizzy, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. If they're trying to make the game better and a game I'm going to love, take your time, right? But it's kind of a win-win, a Newbie. Well, it's a lose-win, because I lose because I'm not going to play it at launch like I wanted to. But here's what I'm going to do at Hades 2. I'm going to play it in mid-October, and then you guys will all have about 3 weeks head start on me to beat it, for those of you that want to play it and not be spoiled by me. So that's the plan. Crunchy, that's what that email felt like, I'm going to be honest with you. Good to see you, Crunchy. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one, Reboot, no. Yeah. Sort of about like that other game that's about a land that borders something. I don't know. It's like the 4th land they found, I think. Would you, Benny? Yeah. Hopefully, I'm probably going to try to 100% Hades 2. We'll see how we're feeling. Hades 2 may also be the type of game that I play, and when I get through the main story section, because if you've played the game, you understand what that means for the first game. It might also become an end of stream game where like, hey, let's do a couple Hades runs at the end of stream and then we play something else. That way I can play it long term and play a lot of it. That may also be how Hades goes, because it's a really good, like, let's pop in and do a run or two at the end of stream game, right? And I usually like that for my mental health. Like, I like to sometimes not play a game 50 hours a week, but instead have another game that's like our end of stream game. That usually I feel comfortable in that rotation a lot. Hi, Sumo. Just a little a day, yeah. I think, yeah, after story, perfect. Yeah, yeah. It's a really good pick up and put down game for sure. So I think that's the plan. But I might have an itch for a little bit of Darkest Dungeon 2 after playing it last week. We haven't done either of the two installments. And they've had so many updates and polishing and stuff like that. I kind of want to play it. I've been thinking about it for 3 days, and usually when that happens, I play that game. You know what I mean? And then 2 weeks later, Final Fantasy Tactics would be out. So that's what I'm currently thinking. And then maybe after Tactics, after Hades 2, then maybe we'll play XCOM 2. XCOM 2 is not going anywhere. And I still want to do an original Darkest Dungeon run, but I'll probably save those two things for when we don't have any releases coming up. Right now we have 2 releases coming up, which is like the glory days of streaming, right? When you have 2 back-to-back games coming out that you really want to play. So... oh gosh, Kinemura, no. Yeah, XCOM 2 is out, finally. Silent Hill F. No, thank you. That's my first yawn of the night, chat. Yeah, Little Nightmares 3, I'll tell you what. If we hit 666 subs, I'll play that in October. I'll commit to that right now. Chat already made me play the first 2, so... We're at 572, so we're not even that far off at this point, right? We're only... oh, God, I don't want to do math. Is that 84, 94 away? 94, right? We're only 70 million away, yeah. Although, we're going to have a subpocalypse. I don't remember which day. What day did you guys give all those subs last month? Because that's the subpocalypse day. It was on the 23rd. So in 10 days, on that day, like 100 subs are going to drop off. That'll be our subpocalypse day on the 23rd. But yeah, we'll have some time. We'll have some time to figure that out. There also are a couple bounties I can do next week, so we'll talk about those next week. They're good ones. They're ones we've done before. So there's a First Descendants one. There's a Fragpunk one. There's the Demon Slayer game one. But that one doesn't provide the key, so I'll have to figure out how to get a key for it, because I believe it's $70. You know what I mean? The First Descendants bounty expires tomorrow, so I can't do that one. Unfortunately, yeah. Reboot gifted a sub to 100 tier 2 subs. There you go. There you go. Also, the goal tracking right there is actually accurate right now. Crunchy. Go to bed. Right now. I've already beaten that game. Anyway, chat, we'll talk about it more next week. I definitely want to do the Fragpunk one. But yeah, I'm going to miss the First Descendants one, but that's okay. Yeah. That's what I got, chat. Hopefully you guys liked getting an update on everything and are happy to have them. But I think I'm going to go sneak in some sleep. Yeah, it's too low. If I did it right now, I'd actually be flirting with not getting any payout. So there's a minimum threshold, and I think the minimum threshold for it is 65. So I actually would be flirting with getting $0 for it. So I have to be up over 100 to do the bounties. But that means we'll try them next week. It's fine, right? It's fine. We're making the best with what we have, and we'll make the best of it, right? And yeah, We'll figure it out. Also, the YouTube channel has been doing really good this week. I don't know why it's been better, but it has been way better. So that's very exciting that it's been doing better. So that has kind of kickstarted back to the numbers it was getting before. So that's really good news. Yeah, exactly, Kinemar, exactly. But I have a hard goal of I want to stream all 5 days next week. So that's my goal, chat. Now that Asher's home and my niece is going to be in town all the way till mid-October. So Lady Mac has support during the day. I still have to take Jonah to school. There's no getting around that. But I think I should be able to find... I think I'm just going to have to start sleeping in the evening again next week. Even though I don't want to, it's only 3 weeks. For the next 3 weeks, I think I'm going to have to sleep in the evening. And that'll just have to be... I've been doing that anyways for the last, like, 2 years, right? It's fine. It's just that I've liked sleeping in the morning. But if I sleep in the evening, I also get to sleep, like, 6-7 hours... Whereas sleeping in the morning, I sleep 45 minutes, 1 hour, an hour and a half, all split up into 3 sections. So it'll be much better sleep, right? So that's what we're going to do. All right. If you're new to the stream, you can toss a follow. I doubt we have very many new people here, but if you are, make sure you follow before you go. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all very, very much for being patient, understanding, listening to my stories, and sharing your feedback and ideas and all kinds of cool stuff. You guys have been with me on a hell of a journey these last couple months, trying to get this house bought and sold, and hopefully we're getting to the finish line. Every single step of the process has been terrible. All of them. Every single step. So hopefully we get to the finish line and it was all worth it, right? They say football is a game of inches, but so is my throat. I mean, that's true. Thank you, Benny. Thanks, Admiral Bro. Right as I walk out the door, dude, you're like, before you go. Yeah, it's definitely going to be on my list, Dizzy. Yeah. Maybe while I'm eating chicken wings tomorrow. Have a good night, Drew. Thanks for hanging. I love your face, Benny. Thank you. The Benny wagon lives on. Maybe I'll build it this weekend if I have time. Go try on more underwear. You know, I kind of forgot I still need new underwear. That's going to have to be... That's how we'll celebrate the new house, Benny. How about that? Buy myself a nice new pair of expensive underwear. I kind of gave up on that. I just out of necessity. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to head out, Admiral Brocode. I'm going to go to sleep and we'll reset on Monday. A newbie, have a good night, buddy, okay? You know, I just watched Lilo and Stitch for the first time in my life a couple days ago. By watched, I mean it was on and I was in and out of the room like 10 times, but it was actually pretty cute. And I could see why people like it. But I had never seen it before. I thought it was cute. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, the whole time, though, I thought the girl was his mom because I wasn't paying attention. And then at one point, she was like, my sister. And I was like, oh, sisters. And then Lady Mac filled me in on the story. I was like, oh, so definitely not her mom. Yeah. It is time, yeah. Machine, have a good weekend, okay? All of you guys enjoy your weekend. Bye, Gamertech. Bye, Benny. Have a good one. Bye, Kinamara. Bye, Admiral Brocode. Have a good one, brother. Yeah, have a good night. Enjoy your massage. Get some good food. Enjoy your day tomorrow, okay? I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Enjoy your time off. Bye, Shadow. Enjoy your sub, buddy, all right? Have a good weekend. Bye, a newbie 8. Appreciate you, buddy. Family first always. I got you, man. You're welcome, Buff Knight. Have a good one. Big hugs, dude. I wish I could hug you in real life right now. Day by day, moment to moment, buddy, okay? Bye, Dizzy Pixie. You beautiful bean. Have a great weekend, okay? Bye for the lulz. Thanks for hanging. I hope your weekend is excessively Canadian. Excessively. Like so much Canadian you can't even handle it. This Canadian. I hope it's this Canadian. If you didn't know, I always have Canadian maple syrup right by my desk. Totally normal behavior. That goes for you too, Dizzy and Benny. Thank you. Thank you for the lulz. Thanks for sharing your feedback. I appreciate it. That you've worked with Joyce and stuff before. I've leaned on Sweet Daddy Jones before. I love talking to people in chat who've done that the kind of work I'm doing. I really value other people's experience and knowledge. So thanks for sharing. It's always like good, like mental, like reinforcement of the things I'm doing. Benny, don't you threaten me with a good time. Aw, that's so cute, Anubi. I love that. That's so adorable. Yeah. I'll do my best, Gamer Tech. I'll do my best. Thank you, Snow Queen. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend, okay? I didn't say fuck a maple tree. Maybe just put maple syrup on your waffles or something. What the hell are you guys doing up in Canada? Jesus Christ. Okay, I gotta go. Oh, gosh. Oh my God, the things I've Googled today. It's been a day, chat. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, chat. All right, let's throw some love over to somebody. Who we raiding, chat? Oh, we haven't said hi to Italics in a while. Let's go say hi to Italics.
This seems like
he's playing Call to Arms? Let's definitely raid into that. That's cool. Let's go say hi. Drew, when you say that, it makes me think of a horrible movie. Isn't it called Norbit? That's what that makes me think of. Anyways, get out of here, chat. I'm leaving. Goodness gracious. Chat, it has been my pleasure. I'm glad I got to stream tonight and give you guys all kinds of updates and stories. I'm really glad that we got to spend some time together. Thank you for subs, gift subs, bitch. You have no idea how much they mean to me right now. With not being able to stream, all the big expenses coming up, every little bit is so damn appreciated. So thank you. The people, we had a couple of beautiful beans renew their paid subs on YouTube. We've had some bits and stuff. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful and appreciative. And Benny bought me dinner tomorrow. Thank you, baby. Appreciate it. Bye, Julia. Have a good night. Bye, lurkers. Chat, Twitch is a big place. YouTube's even bigger. You could be anywhere, but you're here with me, and you're dope as fuck for that. Remember to take those positive vibes and share them with the world. Remember that a small act of kindness can change the world around you. Tell someone you love them. Tell someone you appreciate them. Tell someone they look damn good today, chat. Those moments make the world a better place to be, baby. All day, every day. We're going to go do that right now for my friend Italics. Go into his chat, drop a heart, say hi, and let's bring some good energy his way, okay? Let's share that love, chat. I'm off all weekend. I'll be back on Monday, and we're gonna have a rockin' fucking week next week. You heard it, chat. You heard it, baby. And as always, you know the deal. Keep being you, because it's all I'll ever need. Because you're amazing, sexy, beautiful, and good things are coming, fam. Get out there, get after it, and always be the best version of you, baby. Come on, get it. Don't share that.